talk about muscles, I would expect a lot of training involved for everybody. So let's turn to Chloe, because let's hear it for Chloe in this film. If you'll forgive me, I think you all are amazing in this film, but like having seen this film, Hit Girl is an instantly iconic character, I think, for everybody, right? Yeah. So Chloe, tell me about your training. What went into becoming Hit Girl?
Okay, so like 2 months before the movie started, like 2 months after I booked it, we started training for Hit Girl. And I knew it was going to be really physical, but I never knew it was going to be this physical. And so like I went to this place and they did, just basic training, how to take apart your gun, how to put it back together. Don't point it where you're not going to shoot it, never keep your finger on the trigger.
Wow. Basically, she became a Marine.
Yeah, and then, I did more training that was a little bit more technical, kind of, with the bow staff and the battle song, and they basically made me...
She's a terrorist.
They made me kind of really, really, really crazy fit. Like, they made me do like 1,000 crunches a night, and like 50
My defense, sorry, there are no such thing as an 11-year-old stunt girls, so we have no choice.
This man, he pushed it to the limit.
So,
yeah, but it was worth it.
In a good way. I loved it, What would I do without Hit Girl?
What's it like to see yourself on screen? Have you seen the finished product yet?
I have not seen the finished product yet, which is kind of crazy, right?
Technically speaking,
Or
you're not
morally
allowed to
correct,
see it.
Yeah, technically I'm not allowed to see R-rated movies, but since I am a lot of the bad stuff in this movie, I can't see it.
We talked a little bit about this unusual kind of development process involving, Mark and John and Matthew in this kind of simultaneous development. John, for you in particular, this must be amazingly surreal to sort of see your vision brought to life as vividly as this is. I mean, how involved were you day to day in the process of the film?
I don't know about day to day, but whatever I did that Mark and Matthew liked, that's what they were using. And to be told that the visuals were used and they were liked and the storytelling was liked, that's the biggest compliment I could get in my field. So I was.
But also, you did draw the whole comic book sequence that came to life.
That's about as big a compliment as you can get. And I floated on that for about 2.5 years. And I'm still floating on that. Then to see my name on the point, I elbowed my wife in the ribs. That's my name on screen. Like a 2-year-old kid. So I'm good.
Having read the 8-issue series and having seen the film now, it's very faithful up to a point, and especially in that third act, it diverges in certain ways. Big Daddy's backstory and the finale. How did that happen exactly? Was there a point where kind of the comic went in one direction and the movie went in another? Why do we have kind of two different versions of the story?
Well, we had something hammered out, but as I was writing the comic after Matthew had finished the screenplay, I realised the episodic nature of comics means that I had to have an 8-act story, really, and there had to be reveals and twists and things that would have kind of messed up the structure of the movie. So things like Big Daddy's big reveal would have been awful in the movie if it had gone that way, so they kept the original backstory for Big Daddy, and for those of you who've read the book, you find out that it's a lie, that the guy's just a comic book fan like Dave, and he's made up the whole stuff about his wife. And it's only one page of the comic, but it turns everything on its head, and it would have just ruined the movie, and likewise the jetpack scene wouldn't have worked in the comic, but in the movie things were building up so much at that point you needed some big Luke Skywalker blowing up the Death Star moment, and so just these wee things that it was only 2 or 3 real diversions it took, but it was just necessary, we always say, like, whenever somebody slavishly adapts a graphic novel, it can be quite tedious, so first and foremost, I think the guys were just trying to make a good movie.
Yeah, because it's a kinetic thing. With the comics, it's stop action, so you can have them coming up an elevator, and you can still do it fine visually, but you can't do that kind of stop action with film. You have to have that kinetic movement, so that the jetpack had to be done that way.
Yeah, it's no surprise to see Nick in a film like this. He's obviously, everybody knows, a huge comic fan, and he's, for my money, he's awesome in this role. He also, as anyone that's seen the film or will see the film, will know, he's clearly doing a bit of Adam West. Big Daddy. So, which is awesome. Which is amazing.
Or William Shatner.
A little Shatner, yeah. Same difference, no. At what point did he ever tell you before he started doing this? Like, when did Adam West emerge?
When we did the first costume fitting, Nick started running lines, which I was pretty impressed because our costume fitting was 6 weeks before we shot, and he knew all his lines already. And he started doing it with without telling me the Adam West style before we get sued. Performance started, and I just encouraged it. I thought it was very funny, and I wasn't sure we were going to do it on the day of filming, but we went with it.
He brought another thing that I loved to it as well, which was Big Daddy's. I don't know if this was Matthew or Nick. It was the Big Daddy's moustache and his secret identity. Was that Matthew?
Yeah.
He had a small moustache, but when he was a superhero, he had a slightly larger moustache.
But also, I thought the only thing about Dark Knight that just drove me nuts was the stupid voice. So it was a little bit like, yeah, we'll have a silly voice as well, and probably do it in a way that's actually meant to be silly.
For you, Aaron, or Chloe, who obviously shared scenes with him as Big Daddy, is it odd to play against? It must be odd to play against Nick Cage, but Nick Cage doing a voice like that.
Yeah, but it's hard to, I'm not, crack up laughing all the time. It was hard to concentrate, I suppose. No, he's actually, as an artist, it was great just to see him bring something to life off the page, and to give it be that creative and that bold is just for me a great experience to sort of learn from him. So that was fantastic. It was, he comes across brilliant.
Well, one, working with Nick Cage is not like a blessing. You can only hope and imagine to work with an Oscar winner. And, reading the script is awesome, and you kind of get a feel to who Big Daddy is and maybe how Nick may play it. But, when I got on set and he started doing his lines, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? But I was like, it's kind of amazing, right? It's kind of amazing how he did it.
Did you ask who Adam West was?
What?
Do you know who Adam West is?
He's the original Batman?
I'm not going to realize it from Family Guy.
I'll tell you what, my dad's a big comic fan, and he had to tell me who that was.
Never question Chloe's geek cred.
Please don't give me a comic book quiz, because I will fail miserably.
Who is the biggest, this is not for you, John and Mark, sorry, but who's the biggest comic guy on this panel? Or I guess, Chloe, you disqualified yourself.
My heart is broken.
Chloe's not here. Yeah, probably Nick Cage. Nick Cage is intensely,
But I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, where is he? That Mark would be.
yeah.
Mark, you know more about comics than John as well. Actually, his dad is a huge comic book artist as well. So I think.
Yeah, I think it's safe.
I think the further away from you it gets, the better.
I think we have a clip actually we want to show. We were just talking about Chloe and Nick's relationship in the film, and this clip, if it's ready, we'll see, is the first clip, introduction to Hit Girl and her dad. So let's take a look. Take a guess.